Hi, my name's John Gilmore. I live at Cromer with my wife Nina and my three kids Jason, Cameron and Natalie. We've been going to St Faith's probably for about 16 years. I drive buses for State Transit, which is an interesting job, so I may have picked you up or dropped you off or driven past you, or maybe I drove past you and didn't pick you up one day. I like to get out and about a lot. I have a very strong passion for surfing, which I've done since I was about 10 or 11 years old. I used to be into gardening, but I hate that now and I don't want to spend any time on it. Mowing the lawn and doing the edges is certainly enough. And with, of course, three kids that are now 15, 13 and 8, they keep us very busy doing things, interacting with them, plus some time for Nina and I, and a bit of working keeps our lives very busy. We started coming to St Faith's on and off not long after Jason was born. When Roger Green was at St Faith's, there came a time when we had to get Jason christened, and we hadn't really thought about it a lot, but it made us become a bit more serious about our on and off attendance at St Faith's. And Roger Green came around one day and had a chat with us, and he said we needed to get a little bit more serious about it. And we just started going a lot more regularly. Nina got into Bible study groups. We started listening, and our ears were certainly opened by the Holy Spirit. And I started going to Bible study, and it has certainly changed our lives quite dramatically. In my late 20s, I had numerous gout attacks, and after referral to a specialist, found out that my kidneys were only about 5.5, 6 centimetres instead of the normal healthy 10.5 centimetres, and realised I had chronic renal failure or kidney failure. And over the years that eventually deteriorated where I had to start dialysis, or I would get very sick and not be able to do much at all and just sit around the house. I started dialysis at the Mater Renal Unit in August 2009, learned about home dialysis, which is what you're seeing in front of you, went over to Royal Prince Alfred Hospital, they trained me how to do it, came home, now I do it at home, 7 hours every second day, cleaning my blood out, taking fluids off, and it works very well. You might say, well, gee, that sounds really hard, but there's a lot of people in a far worse situation, and if I do it quite regularly, I can surf twice a week, I do yoga once a week, I work 31 hours a week, I interact with the family. It's quite manageable. A real challenge, of course, with our Christian faith, going through a hardship of this is God really looking after me? Why did this happen to me? Nina and I have gone through this a lot, and it's affected both of us quite dramatically. Why isn't this someone else? Why isn't this a horrible person that doesn't go to church and doesn't pay their taxes and cheats, and why doesn't it happen to them? Why does this happen to me? It's made me realise that we are not in control of our lives. Before this happened, or I actually started dialysis, we were going to take out a loan on the house, put the big extension on, have a wonderful looking house, and it stopped that dead in the tracks. It does challenge you. It does say, is he really in control? And we, of course, as human beings think we're in control. We put plans in place. We put financial plans in place, and things don't go the way that we want them to. But that's because that's us thinking we can control them. God's the one really who takes us down the path that we're going to follow in our lives. And we don't have any control. This has taught me that we've got no control. Where will I be in 5 years' time? Where will my family be in 5 years' time? 10 years' time? If I sit down and write it on a bit of paper, we'll probably go in a completely different direction because we don't have control. And as you get stronger in your faith, you realise that a lot more. Of course, human beings, the way that we are, we go in and out of being strong in our faith and we doubt things sometimes, but we've certainly come to the realisation that we've got no control. He's the one who controls it all, and where we will be, it's completely up to him and not up to us. This treatment and renal failure that have is been an extreme challenge for Nina and I, and has affected us a lot, not just time-wise and what we can and can't do, but getting through the process of learning it and the realisation that this is going to go on for a long time. The average wait for a kidney transplant is 5.5 years, and I am on the list. We have a realisation that for the rest of our lives, or rest of my life, I'm going to have a serious health issue that I've got to cope with. And this is really challenging for our faith when we open up the Bible and read that God will look after his chosen people. When you get an issue like this, it really does challenge you. And you go through ups and downs, without a doubt. But the one thing that holds us together is that God is going to look after us at the end of it all, without a doubt, because of our faith in Jesus dying on the cross and giving himself for us. And but certainly as a human being, there's times when you doubt it. When a dialysis session doesn't go well, or when I get a problem with it. Again, I ask the question, why me? Why couldn't it have been someone else? When I first started this whole process, we were praying very hard that I could cope with it. And I know a lot of people in the Bible study groups, Nina's Bible study group in particular, helped get us through this process. And without it, I think she would have fallen over. My Bible study group were praying for us. Paul McDonald asked me to reveal it, and I really struggled with that. But again, through prayer, and particularly St. Faith's community helping us and supporting us, it's got us to a point where it's quite manageable. What the future holds again, we don't know. We just have to have faith in God that he will continue getting us through this. And if things turn sour, yes, it will be hard. Yes, we'll get emotional about it. But life will eventually keep going on. You've just got to work through those issues. All of us. Everyone goes through financial problems or marital problems or health problems. At some stage in our lives, we're confronted by this. And the real challenge for us as human beings that are so frail and go up and down is to keep our faith strong, because God in the end will look after us, and he promises us so much.